Nature's Prophet, kind of just an ironclad hero versus the Lycan, at least in that early laning stage. When things break down a little bit, then Lycan with Quelling Blade is typically pretty difficult to deal with. But for Alpha Red, it's at the very least a little bit of a tone shift here, as they also pick up the Bane, a hero that has kind of fallen out of favor a little bit, but he's not terrible up against the Lycan. He's only kind of okay.
Yeah, I feel like looking at the lane stage should be fine. However, it's a little bit of a bold move by Neon. Just you know, they have Nature's Prophet with the Sprite. They have a Bane on hand, like two great heroes that disable heroes in fights, and like, you know, we're gonna pick a Lycan into this. Like, we don't even care. Like, that might come to bite them. That's a good hero against Lycan on lane.
So Nature's Prophet 4 position with Underlord. It's not really super common, although it did have its time in the sun a little bit ago. I don't really know when it stopped being a thing.
Yeah,
but it could still work. If you're looking at zoning out a hero, man, Underlord is really good at doing it, especially if they're melee on the other end, and Lycan is, obviously. Nature's Prophet is an expert at doing the same, so this could be just a heavy zone lane from the Alpha Red side. And for Neon Atomic, this is where your Warlock and just naturally being kind of a defensive hero is kind of biting you, because you can't fight back against this. You kind of just have to sit there and take it.
The Nature's Prophet, with the recent nerfs to the Orb of Venom, I don't consider him that strong. Like, I don't think this is the comeback of the position for Nature's Prophet. Not against heroes that have so much sustain already, and like, it's gonna be mediocre at best. Like, Unlord Nature's Prophet, they pack a punch against Warlock Lycantrip, but they should still get enough last hits out of this. On the side of Neon, that is.
Alright, well, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen in this mid lane. Leshrac is the pick for the Atomic side. Most likely just going to go mid and be happy about it. Maybe a little bit less happy about it up against the Lina. Lots of spells being traded back and forth. And, you know, maybe the Lina with her attack range and her damage is going to have a slightly better time or whatnot. But it's going to come down to the rotations than just mechanical skill. I don't think we quite got a good glimpse of mechanical skill in the last game because of the matchup.
10 seconds remaining.
If you mess up on either of these heroes, you're just instantly dead.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, like there's not much leg room for Neon here. Like, get caught by a Bane, you're dead. Get caught by Nature's Prophet, you get stunned by Lina and die. Like, Lina Leshrac is usually the coin flip lineup. It really depends on skill who has the edge, because whoever hits the stun first basically deals more damage and then is able to run the other hero down. But with Nature's Prophet in the mix, that might just turn into like, yeah, I'm gonna just blatantly TP under your tower, I'm gonna sprout you, and then you're dead. And yeah, they're dodging this out immediately. They're going for TA straight, and that's a great pick against the Lina.
Yeah, much better matchup if it is going to be that Lina matchup, of course. Is a hero that may have some difficulty from some of the other Alpha Red heroes, like TA and a Sprout is an unhappy camper. Underlord is an absolute all-star up against TA, kind of a lower range hero, so usually you're in the range of that aura, so you're doing a lot less damage, and of course Bane can just put you to sleep, grip you, whatever. So that, in that sense, TA is not going to have a perfect game. But in the sense of this matchup is actually good versus the Lina, much better. It's going to save the Leshrac for something a little bit different, and you know, it's not out of the question to see Leshrac taking towards a core role in the off lane. Of course it depends on the matchup, but again, if you're looking for dual lanes, Leshrac is definitely a quality dual laner.
Yeah, like bumping him into the support position, or even the offlane main hero to farm is probably the best choice they can make. Like, TA is gonna have a fairly easy time against the Lina. Still has to watch out a little bit, because there's some instances that can be pretty strong against her. Especially the Underlord with the root is pretty good against TA refraction, just because if you have an additional hero there, let's say Nature's Prophet or Lina, you can easily pop those refraction charges and then just hit her down. She's not really tanky once you get rid of her defensive tools, and Underlord is perfect at that. However, he tends to get bursted down as well against minus armor, especially if he wants to go towards like the Crimson Guard. If you're just having TA at that point with like Blink Dagger plus Desolator, she might just run you over.
Alright, for Neon Atomic, I'm feeling a Slardar right now. I sense that hero.
Could work.
Bloodseeker is a hero that's also been seeing a lot of traction, who was banned out, I think, second phase in game 1. still available. So you know, you have that hero to watch out for as well.
I think they really lack an additional stun, be it a setup for the Lashrack or just to hunt down the Nature's Prophet. If you pick a Bloodseeker here, Nature's Prophet will always just TP away from you.
And Neon Atomic also working with quite a bit of objective-taking power already. TA, Lycan, and Lashrack are all pretty much all-stars at it. Maybe piling in more minus armor is a little bit excessive. Their initiation is somewhat lacking, but there aren't really many like supports with Lashrack that would do that for you outside of someone like a Slardar. That's why we see the Batrider being banned out instead, assuming the support Lashrack.
I feel like Kunkka might be a valid choice for them here. They just run like Lashrack Kunkka on the duo offlane. They can still flex pick who they actually put in the core role. It gives you the X marks the spot against the Nature's Prophet, which is nice. Good against, or at least decent against the Bane as well, and the Bait buff will help out against the Lina. Might be an option for them. On the other hand, Legion is still in the pool, is she? Alright, it is the Jakiro. Nice. More damage over time, again.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this. Again, it's gonna really step up their aggressive power. Like, you have Liquid Fire now on top of everything else, which is absolutely nutso, but lane might be a little bit clunky. You still are going to be lacking that source of initiation, so you kind of just have to hope to run into your enemies or hope the enemies run into you. I guess, granted, Alpha Red aren't really super initiation heavy either, so no one really can have a clear edge in that regard, but Neon Atomic's lanes are looking like they're pretty difficult to deal with, particularly this mid lane, which Alpha Red kind of seems like they need to help out a little bit up against that TA, but then it's like, who's going to take the cost of that? It's going to be really expensive if you decide to commit a hero helping your Lina. Your other lanes are really going to suffer.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Neon, they have two stuns beside the Warlock ultimate, and both of them are super unreliable, and any hero with the decent movement speed will get rid of it. If you're Alpha Red, you might even go to like the Legion Commando or something right now, and just so you have to purge. So as soon as the Jakiro goes for the animation or uses the slow on you, you just purge it off and run away, and you will never get stunned. They must make sure they have a carrier that either super hardly counters the Lycanthrope down the road. Heroes like Gyrocopter would come to mind, even though the hero is dead. Or you just have a hero that has a great amount of regen early on to just outlast the Lashrack and the Jakiro, because they can't really trade hits with you once they're out of mana.
There aren't really many heroes that are great at doing that. You're talking about like this kind of out-sustain route. I mean, Jug is good for not dying, but like staying in the lane and not dying are two different things there for the Alpha Red side.
Troll could work. Or is he banned out? No Troll ban. Pretty nice with the Lina and Nature's Prophet as well. You have good hitters. It is Ember.
Choose your hero.
Okay, that can work. They have a lot of shielding with magic damage. Why not?
I wonder if we're gonna see something a little bit different here also, because we see Fearless picking up the Ember for mid. Definitely better matchup than the Lina versus TA. But then it's like, is Dogbrain the previous safe lane player from Alpha Red gonna do the same? A safe lane Lina. That's been a while, dude. It's been a long time since I've seen something like that. Can actually combat up against Neon Atomic's lane simply because she has so much range. Like, the range will keep her mostly safe. So, if Alpha Red actually do run exactly those lanes, I could see that actually working out pretty well. But then again, Neon Atomic can always swap things up as well. So, there's going to be a lot of mind gaming in this early laning stage. I don't think they're going to be just loading out and then happy with what they get.
Yeah. I don't know. Alpha Red has more burst damage to me. I think they have reasonable answers against the TA. Have good ones against the Lycanthrope. They have a root on the Ember. They have a stun on the Lina. Nature's Prophet has the Sprout. Underlord has another root. Bane has the huge ultimate. Lycan will, unless Lycan is like super dodgy and enters the fight at the very end, he will always kind of get caught off guard. With the exception of being Bane, who will most likely get countered out by the Warlock Golem. But fairly sure that Alpha Red is just gonna keep trying to interrupt and try to start the fight off for killing the Warlock.
Gotta make sure not kill off that Warlock if he's too high a level. But yeah, that's gonna be usually objective number one. Something we see Nature's Prophet would probably aim towards as much as he can. Would be kind of difficult because he's gonna be supporting Nature's Prophet. So I guess he does still get a lot more gold than other supports, just by virtue of being a Nature's Prophet, but something like that assassination build with an Orchid, that's, a long, far away dream for a Nature's Prophet, but we will see. We do have a loadout like in Wolves, just all over the place, and again, what we saw from Atomic last game, really, really, really good scouting and good vision, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult this game, obviously, because there's going to be the Nature's Prophet on the other ends, just to kind of scout equally. They don't have a Treant Protector, but if they keep that vision up, keep tabs of where Alpha are, then yeah, their push is going to be just so devastating.
Yeah, definitely a lot of push. Like I think we had this discussion last time we casted together. We had a Lycan game as well. The moment you lose one hero against the Lycan trope is the moment where after the fight you lose at least one tower, if not two. And especially like in that very late game, you're gonna struggle with that because Nature's Prophet will not have the will not be able to push out all three lanes this game due to being hunted down by TA, hunted down by Leshrac. Like the supports are really good against them. Yeah, we see in action right there. Like look how low he is already.
And the Treants are just trying to get in the front for a body block. They will go really far up, and the LSA right on the edge will connect, but that's not really something that they can be happy with. Just a little bit of chip damage onto that Leshrac, a lot more onto Leona there. So it will be that that dual lane set up, of course, and Alpha will have the Lina with the Nature's Prophet up against the Leshrac and Jakiro. So the strategy here for Alpha is just try to chip him out, because if the Radiant dual lane decides they want you dead, their burst damage is going to be insane. You got to make sure that they are too low to even go for that play in the first place.
Yeah, so top lane safely an Underlord against Lycanthrope Warlock with the Bane around. This is like a super even lane, but I believe Lycanthrope will just free farm off of it. He doesn't really care that much because Bane and Warlock, they like to cancel each other out, you could say. So one more of the boring lanes, like, DK lanes against DP. I hate that lineup.
I think it would have been
thank God, no DK.
It would have been a lot more value, I think, for this Bane if you went for that Enfeeble. Like, get Enfeeble onto the Lycan with that aura as well. Dude's not hitting for shit. He can't get any last hits there.
I don't know. It's not that much. Like, especially level 1 Enfeeble is only a 30 damage reduction. He will get down to 27 with that, but you have to Quelling Blade to make up for it. So yes, it will still be harder to last it. But
you're also
once
looking
you
at
pick up level 2,
80 damage on my pro. So like, you can't beat that.
Well, you have to Feral Impulse to make up for it. Like, it slowly kicks in, and you can always go for the Wolves last according with them. I think like it's the right choice to not go for the Enfeeble, especially because it has been nerfed.
Well, we will agree then to disagree. I think that's also a pretty big fallacy. I'm not saying just because like in this case I disagree with you, but lots of people are like, oh yeah, that's nerfed. You don't do that anymore. Just because something's nerfed doesn't mean it's not usable.
No,
too many people say that shit.
Usable.
It pisses me off.
Like maxing out the Enfeeble is definitely good against certain lanes. Like if you have a Jarikov, for example, he's absolutely screwed. But we generally see it more against like ranged heroes getting applied because they don't get that bonus from the Quelling Blade.
That's true. You're not wrong about this. That's just a pet peeve of mine. Especially with other games. I think it happens a lot more in other games. They're like, yeah, he's nerfed, so we don't do that anymore. Like, have you tried it after the nerf? Point of nerfing things is to balance them.
No,
Okay,
it's
I'm
nerfed.
gonna stop now. We're not doing that.
It has to be OP or I don't use it.
Yeah, it's not as
I'm
good
only
as it
picking
once
Wind
was.
Ranger in my pops, by the
Therefore,
way.
it sucks. Oh, mid lane, Fearless. A little bit too fearless, perhaps. He chugs down the south, mistimes it, but he does get the run on Templar Assassin in tower range. Ooh, she does have the Fairy Fire, and you can't contest that as a Member Spirit who's one shot away from dying, but yeah, that's usually not how that lane is supposed to go. You do have all the dots, so defensively the Refraction is completely useless, but offensively, Refraction still packs quite the wallop.
Yeah, but lanes are pretty stable. Like, the mid lane will go in TA's favor heavily. Like, he's sitting on 14 last hits now to 14 on the Ember, but he has the advantage of just harassing the Ember whenever he approaches the last hit. Like, even with the DD when we see him struggle, we can't really contest. Yeah, he does that and then gets 2 hits to the face.
You get
How's it going
chained,
mid
you get a
though?
couple more hits in the face. Nature's Prophet coming in. A couple of small tree hits in the face. He does have another refraction. Again, that will block a right click, actually. Sets up on Fearless, gets the kill!
First blood.
I think Fearless misclicked there and could have issued another right click. It looked like maybe...
Yeah, I think you're right. But what also happened is that the flame, when there was one refraction charge left, like one of its hits went into it. It was the deal breaker, and Nature's Prophet couldn't reach the TA anymore because he has no boots yet. That is a bit unfortunate, and oh, Nature's Prophet in trouble actually.
That's unfortunate, although this Leshrac didn't move properly, so he may not get this kill. One more lightning, that'll be just enough actually. Yeah, he was just standing there auto-attacking, which is very rarely what you want to do. You want to be kind of stutter-stepping
Yeah, stutter-stepping.
But still gets it, so no harm, no foul for him. Suddenly 2 kills for Atomic. Maybe that first blood robbed, but either way, TA shows off how much damage he could actually do, and got Scottylicious in the meantime, just bullying Dogbrain on this bottom lane. Jakiro may be going a little bit too far, though. Has stick charges, will not save him. Yeah, it's a kind of a bold play going into the Lina like that. Now the rune battle. Boombell, Nightmare into grab. Easy. And then might be okay. I don't know if it's even worth it for TA to... Okay, he's going to TP out. He's fine.
I still gotta admire this core Jakiro at the bottom lane, just going for like Akila and like I'm an agility carry now. Hey, it works, so might as well. Just so clowny seeing the Jakiro in the core role over the Leshrac. Especially on the safe lane, like mid you can understand that, but since like you would have assumed that you have a TA, just stick your TA in the safe lane, let her farm there, and put the Jakiro mid against the Ember. But nope, we just farm Jakiro safe lane now, I guess. That's
now the Nature's Prophet is taking control of the lane. They're definitely juggling it quite well. We got Leshrac from the side, lightning, split earth. It misses. That means the TP out is going to be clean. No ice path, so he's just fine. Although I'm pretty sure with the split earth there, he probably still TPs out and does survive. Jakiro with this extra farm. Oh, over in mid lane actually, Fearless is going to not quite set up for the Lina. The LSA is a little bit off the mark. North is able to slip away, and he'll be just fine. He's level 6, so defensively, this TA now a lot more difficult to kill off because of those traps. Oh, Leshrac, careful. Don't get caught sleeping. Okay, another sidestep of the LSA. Dogbrain a little bit off the mark here, but this extra experience in the Jakiro, when you're working with a Lycan, when you're working with a TA, dude, extra points in Liquid Fire, absolutely nuts. And like you mentioned earlier, you lose a hero versus Lycan, suddenly all your towers are dead. Jakiro's a little bit slower in that, but he can still do it. LSA does land onto the Leshrac over in bottom lane, though he does have a heal from a Warlock, turns around with the lightning, sticks up as well, stuns the Lina, and they will get away with that kill at least. Dogbrain, slowed down by the lightning once more. Scottylicious doesn't have enough to keep going, but they will save their Leshrac and get a kill in return.
Yeah, Lycan getting pretty low in the top lane in the meantime, but hard to solve in the end. Like, that's the power of the Lycan trope. He's level 4 at 7 minutes, which isn't too good. But he has a full headdress, and he's about to pick up the Ring of Health as well, so he's a running tiger, if not a running self at this point. He's going to be able to stay up against his Underlord, who has a Vanguard finished up, actually. Like, he's sitting on top of the last hit chart. 47 last hits at 7 minutes on Underlord is quite a lot. That's more than the mid lane and the safe lane. It's pretty much insane.
He's going to start bulking up, and of course when Underlord bulks up, his team typically tends to get bulky as well. So that is something that perhaps an underfarmed Lycan is not quite going to be happy to deal with. He's not super underfarmed right now, like he's still in a spot where he can recover at a decent rate, but getting a Vanguard makes him damn well invulnerable Underlord. Magic damage from Leshrac is not that huge. Jakiro core, even with that additional damage, is still not quite enough, and they're just going to get sprouted out of that gank attempt. So this is going to be a damn difficult hero to deal with, as the Leshrac is going to try to challenge Leona right now, but does fall short there with the Split Earth. They do set up for the Ice Path, and it looks like the Leshrac should be okay unless the Dragon Slave comes in. It's gonna miss! Dogbrain, come on, dude. Definitely would have been a kill otherwise. And look at Leshrac, he's still just taunting this Lina, trying to Lightning Storm and get the kill onto this Nature's Prophet, but in the meantime, Ember Spirit dies. Freaking, okay, he finally dies. It's about time. But Ember Spirit dies.
He did just run at him. Yeah, like Ember Spirit got killed by North, pretty much solo, just running him down. They tried to set up a gank. I'm gonna do it again here.
They have dust,
together, right?
so that meld will not work. He's just going to try to race with the lightning. Almost gets Boom Bell. Another triple commitment onto the Lishrak. Another trap is there to slow him down. All remnants used means no more to jump forward, though he does slight chains. It's just in range, and it's just enough to get the kill. Alright, well, the Ember Spirit gets his revenge. Maybe it's a little bit too late for him to really be satisfied with, but they still kill off the TA at the end of the day, and don't lose any casualties, at least in mid.
Yeah, like, slight misplace by the Leshwick, just getting killed off by the Lina, just by, like, pretty much taunting without any stick charges and whatnot. Like, same goes to the mid lane, they try to set up on the TA, and TA just turns around and kills whatnot. Like, it just happened again, almost. I mean, they ganked the TA with 3 heroes with all they had, and he almost turned around and just killed them. And the smoke gank coming out.
That reinforcement is going to be so much more brutal in a little bit. The Warlock's kind of a low level right now. Will probably stay a low level. He is going to take so much damage here. Saved from the Ice Path. Would not have done it even if it did come a little bit earlier. So the Warlock's going to go down, but you know, you try to go for a kill on a TA like that. Suddenly there's a Chaotic Offering in your face. TA will absolutely destroy you just with a couple seconds provided by that additional stun. They are going to catch a couple spells onto Fearless, but he does have 2 remnants out, so he's not super worried. Plus, Scottilicious actually has no more mana, so he's just fine. And they find the Lishrak trying to wrap around the long way. He'll get absolutely obliterated. Here comes a double damage TA, however. Dogbrain, like 60% of his health pool in 1 hit. North's still on his tail, but he doesn't have a Blink Dagger or anything like that, so continuing this chase is just not feasible. This TA hits like an absolute truck, but you just don't step into the road and you don't get hit by a truck. Easy.
Yeah, he just gets kited because there's no movement speed, there's no movement speed item or positioning item for him, meaning he has to work against the root, against the Lina stun, against the Sprout, against the Bane running around, against another root. It's going to be really difficult for him to find those targets, especially if he goes for the Desolator first, which is usually the better item, but since they don't really have the big Ancient stacks, they have, well, 2 Duo stacks, he's not going to have like that phenomenal 20-minute Desolator Blink +1 build up on items, so they gotta make sure he finds some kills whatsoever, even if he'll sacrifice like a Leshwick for it.
Yeah, I think, or just get the Desolator, go straight into Roche with like 3-4 heroes. Like that's how you would make this the better build, is by doing that. If they aren't able to do that for whatever reason, split push, contests, pickoffs, then things get a little bit sticky. But over in top lane, Scottilicious, Brain Sap's gripped, and with the Wrath of Nature coming in, just immediately demolished. My pro will waste no time getting everyone out of there, sees the Lycan, ready shape-shifted up, and oh, Boom Bell decided to go the other way. Look at this Hellbear just charge right in. Lands the clap for a little bit extra slow, take off the Nightmare with the dog, and Boom Bell has a Brain Sap, has a pit to help out, but there's another pit from the low ground. Lishrak's here to help. And it'll be 2 kills actually, because they also take down Dogbrain on bottom. That's a Chaotic Offering. Oh, when did he pick up level 6? He did have the Tome. There's a Warlock level 6 on the field. Warlock's gonna just send his Golem straight down that bottom lane. Unfortunately, he goes straight into the river where he finds an Ember Spirit. 1 remnant, you're not dead. He messed up!
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Dude. Come on. How?
I mean, I don't want to be mean, but there's so many misplays in this game. There's so many missed kills on both sides. Like, it's both teams are playing a little bit sloppy. Like the last game was so well executed with almost no mistakes, just running all over the map, death balling, getting kills. Everything was committed perfectly. And this game is just Leshwick running up to Lina and just getting 1 hit because he had no mana or health, or TA just turning around casually killing an Ember with 1 hit. Ember missing a kill on a Warlock. It's like I don't know.
Tier 2 C Dota is like the freaking Wild West, dude. Anything can happen. It's freaking crazy out here.
Yeah, it's like
who am I
tier 1
kidding?
NA, isn't it?
Tier 1 Dota is like the Wild West. Like anything can happen out there. Also, shit just happens, and you're like, I'm not sure why that happened. I'm not sure what command they issued to their hero, in what order to make that happen, but it did happen.
But yeah, and we have to accept it and move on.
Yep. It's like, okay, well,
pretty much it.
The Warlock turns
This
out
is my
had
life
a Heart of Tarask given to him. blessed by Gaben for just a split second, and the Ember Spirit miscalculated, so he's going to just back off. That kill would have gotten him pretty darn close to those Boots of Travel, and with the Nature's Prophet already on the team, plus Underlord, the amount of obnoxious split push Alpha can pull off this game is going to be incredibly dirty. So it is kind of up to Atomic to say, screw your split push, we're going to straight push you and make it so that if you do try to split push us, we're going to win every single race.
Yeah, like at least they can match up to the Lycanthrope. I think this is really important, that Lycanthrope just with the game, because TA will be sitting with 3 other heroes and 1 Lycanthrope on the other, because there's not much catch for him if you have to commit 2 or 3 heroes against the TA on 1 lane.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Warlock's getting some pretty sweet time on this top lane. The Nature's Prophet actually is a threat to the Warlock at this stage, like sitting around like this, but sitting around getting a little bit extra experience, try to get a couple of points of upheaval. Granted, probably not the best spell in this game. There are quite a few things that will punish you for standing still like that, but he already has maxed out Fatal Bonds. And get a couple of upheaval points, get the Jakiro in there with just a dual breath on some Fatal Bonded targets. Yeah, Warlock can certainly do a lot if you give him a little bit of extra experience. Boombell's level 7 as well. He's kind of just poor though. He's going to find Scottylicious. Has a grip, has no Wrath of Nature backup however. It's just a simple straight push down bottom lane as Leshrac is doing what he can to slow this down. Unfortunately, 6 around for too long, gets put to sleep, and will get put under. Okay, what push is going on elsewhere? Got top lane being pushed by the Lycan as Leshrac is super dead. So, losing a support like that for a tower, that's worth.
Well, for a tower, but they're going to lose their entire in response, and they will keep pushing with this Nature's Prophet, I believe. A little bit out of mana, so no extra treants just yet, but they don't really see the pressure either. Like, they have pretty much no vision in their own jungle in this area, but they have established control over the Neon jungle. And looking at this Jakiro, for example, for the fact that he has been farming safe lane, he has the farm of a support. He's sitting on the 4th, on the 6th slot in the net worth, way below the Nature's Prophet, who was not that efficiently farming. It's not really looking well for him. Like, when you pick Jakiro in a core position, you want to make sure that you just run the towers, right? With like max liquid fire and your fast duels.
Alright, MyPro, how tanky are you? Oh, the stomp in the back! That's a wild centaur, and it just stops them cold in their tracks. MyPro is able to get himself out of there because too many units came close. Unfortunately for Nature's Prophet, he can't quite TP as fast as the Underlord there, but that was some luck, skill, I don't know, half and half. It's gonna get the Underlord out of there. Otherwise, with that Templar Assassin with the Desolator, I want to say for sure gets the kill. Well, they'll get a kill, but that was a pretty lucky break. And over in top side, Fearless, he's gonna yank himself out of there, go somewhere. But yeah, back to that Jakiro. There's a very real reason why we don't see core Jakiro that much at all, period, let alone in the safe lane. You kind of get gold by spamming your spells and just kind of chipping the enemies out. If you do that in the safe lane, you push yourself way too far in and then you just die to Nature's Prophet or Lina. So yeah, that's like the fact that they did that to begin with. You set yourself up for failure by doing that. It's the same reason why you don't see Alchemist safe lane a lot, because you just push the wave and then you just get ganked.
Yeah, like, just putting Leshrac in the same position, I think, would have benefited him more. Just keep the Jakiro as the harassing tool for the Lina, who can't really deal with early damage. But now you're in a position where you're behind by quite a mile, actually. Despite the fact that you're still doing okay in terms of tower pushing, but I feel like Alfred is they're gonna get so bulky, it's gonna be so hard to kill them. Like, we just saw with the Crimson Guard on the Underlord as well, when he was getting ganked. Just the Crimson Guard negates so much damage already. He's building towards the pipe, or at least has the hood picked up. There will be a point where neither Leshrac, Jakiro, or Lycanthrope does any damage. Talking which about. Ow. Deleted.
Throw coming from behind. The slow Lycan with the book. Got him. Well, it's a 2-for-1, so this Leshrac not really having the best time for himself, but every single time he dies, like, the team gets something, and now, oh, Centaur charging in just in time. Oh. Well played is called, and indeed, that was well played, so, I mean, I'm pretty sure Leshrac is okay with this. He's like, yeah, I died, that kind of sucks, but I just picked up my urn before I died, So I already have that item. And now look at this, my team, they took 3 heroes down. They're going to take a tower as well. As a support, you can't really ask for much more for a death.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And now TA has Blink and Deso. Lycan has Book 3 close to completion. Roshan should be the next big thing here for Atomic. I don't really think it's going to cost them too much either. They can just go in and tear Roshan apart. And they have a Hand of Midas on Warlock. Dude, that is something you don't see every day.
Well, it is a little bit more common to pick it up, but usually you only do it when you have like super early kills, that you have it as a reasonable timing. 18 minutes is more of the, we don't need a Glimmer Cape, so I guess I will Midas before my team says I need to buy Wards kind of item. It's, you buy it for Warlock, so you inevitably have that extreme boost when you hit level 15 on the XP gain, so you reach like level 20, level 25 extremely fast. But not really an item you pick up if you want to farm anymore. Like, Midas is all about the experience together with the attack speed these days. Like, it barely reimburses your cost over the course of the game.
Honestly, I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of this Midas either. Like, I
I
railed the Venomancer last game pretty hard because it's just like, that's not what you want to do. Midas is kind of like a late game item. It's an investment. They will try to set up on the Underlord. He does get the Crimson off beforehand. North is in there with the Desolator. Pit is almost gonna do it. No, he's gonna go down. Scottalicious does pick up the kill with the dot, so just enough to kill off that Underlord. But this is not a Neon draft that is gonna say, okay, with our core Jakiro, we're gonna go late game. No, man, you kind of want to just end the game within 15 minutes of right now. They'll find Boom Bell with the freebie. And just like that, they'll slip into the Roche Pit, perfectly scouted, though, by the Nature's Prophet, so they know what's up. But, yeah, I think that in this context, for Neon, Glimmer on Warlock is just infinitely superior.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, like a Glimmer Cape would help you so much against the Lina. It helps you against the Bane. Even against the Ember, it's quite nice to let him lose focus. It is questionable, but hey, if it's working, I guess. Like, even the hero is slightly recovering now. They're gonna fight the Ember here, actually.
Ember debated, and they also stun the lead in the backline. Big plays by the Listrak. Oh, if they go for that Ember, you know, they may get him, they may not. But the LSA is gonna probably stop them in their tracks. But that split earth at the exact same time. This Listrak has been stepping up his game, and Roshan, if it wasn't a free grab before, it sure as hell is now. That's an Aegis for North. That's his BKB, very close to completion. And this is where things get scary if you're Alpha, because now all the pieces are together for Atomic. Your towers are going to fall. And, to make things worse, there's still Chaotic Offering.
They're just going to run down your mid lane, and I don't think, like, Underlord is the only one who can stand in the front line right now. We saw what happened to Ember. Yules into Ice Path, he was just straight up dead. Same with the Lina. So the only chance you have is like Underlord tanking up literally everything they have in the front line, and hope they commit to Warlock Golem as a mistake.
He's going for more durability for the team. He already has that that buckler. He's gonna try to upgrade all that into a mechanism into Guardian Greaves. So yeah, Underlord doing his job, playing the medic role. But like, you can heal up all these heroes. They still need to get farmed to actually do damage on their own terms. Lina has the Yules. Fearless has Travel's Maelstrom, so split push wise, this Ember Spirit, he's absolute king. But again, you have this draft that almost doesn't care about split push because their overt push is so powerful. Like, look at this top lane. Tell me if Atomic care about their other lanes right now, because they just took that tower in like 3 seconds flat.
I don't think they even care about the base. Like, every time they trade out is great for them, because you can afford to lose your towers. Like, it's of none of their concern. They want to make sure they get towers done on the other red side.
Everyone and their mom TPing, arriving on this bottom lane. Here comes Yaren, immediately gets Laguna'd. Lycan's coming in. They want Boom Bell, kind of trickling in one at a time. He's gonna get caught in the Sprout and stunned up afterwards. His backup's all gone. What are they doing? I'm not really sure why they walked in like that. Sometimes, man, you just gotta kill a Bane. Oh, sometimes you gotta kill a Lina as well, but the quick Yules! You're gonna keep Dogbrains alive, but I'm not really sure if he can get out of here. He has a TP, which you know, would ordinarily be good, but there's dogs on his tail, so he's just dead to the dogs. Okay, well, I didn't expect that, but he's dead anyway.
Yeah, extra damage coming in.